This is blunt cut metalwork, and today is March 2nd, 2016. And yesterday, the other video, I using this little blade to do light chopping test. W2 with the Rockwell tempered to 67.5, and that was really light chop. And today I made another blade and I put a long handle on it, so the total length here is 17 inches. And for this blade, the same thickness, 1/11 inch thick, or a little thinner because it was kind of warped, so I grind it so a little thinner. And you can see the choy is pretty thin, it's not thick. It's still thicker than the other blade. The Rockwell is close to 68 in the C scale, which is, and this blade basically it just quench, meaning that you heat it up to austenite and then just super quench. I super quench it, and then I grind the put the bevel on and stick the epoxy into this piece of cherry wood here. Since this so much velocity when I'm going to strike with it, there's going to be a lot of torque here. So along the test, because this is very little thing here, it might tear this wood apart because so therefore I'm going to swing at reasonable speed. And so the thickness behind this edge is a 20,000 of an inch, and the sharpened bevel angle is 15 degrees precise. And the edge start out, I get it's going to be reasonably sharp, and today's test going to be toward destructive end. So we'll see how far it goes. I'm not worried about super sharp at this point because it's going to go drastic. So yesterday do a light chop, and today we'll do I will try to do a few chop on this wood, so that we know that this can take it. Or if you didn't, this is they call untempered. So I need to find out the limit of my heat treatment, and so this will be I'm going to take it to the limit, and we'll find out what the blade. This whole blade is 68 Rockwell. The tang and everything. It's not just differential, partly softening. So thing could break here, everywhere, anywhere. So I just want to see how far it survives. Here's a Douglas fir dry 2x4. And so, well, at least I got some chopping done, so that that this knife didn't fall apart. If I go difficult test right away, then I won't know much. And so this is well, let me try some oak first. So this is you can see black red oak, dry, and it's it's actually pretty tough. There's some knot or something here, so oops. How did it fail? The handle fall apart. So either that or the tang broke. I think the tang broke. So possibly there is a crack or something right there. Anyway, well, then we end up with the testing. Well, let's just cut the. Let me tap it to a piece of copper here. See Luong top through. Let you a better backing. This is African blackwood. Okay. So these are, I forgot how many gauges, but they go through there, no problem. And the edge is still there, so it's soft, copper is soft. Ooh, this thing got little, draw a little blood from the broken tank. Let me grab a glove. Well, just I suppose to show that what the well, we're going to test the blade, but it looks like I cannot chop to it now, so I have to put on to these sandstone. So I'm going to go on schedule. Well, unless this thing breaks pretty easily, the blade kind of torque it and it didn't break. So, hooray, good for the blade. And I said, okay. And then when you see a lot of tests, people go through cinder block. And this is again is a 20,000 inch thick behind its thickness and 15 DPS, degree precise. All right, let's do some better job. All right, so there you go, the cinder block, right? Man, this thing is sharp right here. Whew. Have to be careful. I have to clean it up, but I don't think you're going to see much right here yet. Here you go. Sideways. I mean, except for the black, is just they're not really a chip. I mean, hopefully the camera don't pick it up as a chip. Let me dip it in water and clean it up. They just, I think these are resin from the 2x4. Well, you can see opposite side. There you go. Anyway, it's intact pretty much. So I'm going to proceed with well, we went to that cinder block, and then of course I had to go to, I didn't find any granite, but I saw something potentially pretty hard. And well, okay, pathetic chopping. The blade didn't fall apart. Okay, so let's just go on with the test. Basically, I want to say, well, for the broken tank can be fixed, because usually that when you know, torch it or something to soften it, or you didn't harden the end part. This is the part that I care about. I want to find out the limit of the edge. And alright, there you go. Hopefully I hold on to the blade. Much harder rock for sure than the sandstone. Well, I think I have to go back and test the other blade, 67 something later. but you actually can see the grain. I will do a close-up shot of it because these are as-quenched, so it didn't temper, so there's no precipitation on the grain boundary. So I can show you. Actually, even you can look at it. It's just silky right now. It's extremely fine grain. Well, so it's shatter because you hit something hard. Okay, now we just go to the next test using the remaining piece. This is a 16D thick nail, and you see it. Now we're going to see how far the damage go, and kind of hard to do. Okay, here you go. And they got tapped into this, not chopped into, so. Okay. Oh, I got an assistant. Okay, my son. Now, I just tap through it. Nothing happened. Well, not of course. There's something happened here. I can see the light reflected. I don't know. Okay, I don't know that come from the nail. Okay, at the heel part, look like it's very sharp right here. I'm going to, and with the resin stuck on there, I mean the sap, I'm going to chop right there and see what happens. And I'm going to check the see where they're going to reflect light, how much light, and what the damage is. Well, you can see it more than fall apart. One play or the other. I think it's using patoning and without softening the spine is can be bad. But now I still have this piece. Well, it's still, you don't see any big chip yet, right? So let's get paton to the part. It's sort of not how I want to end it, but end it this way. I think wanted compromise. Look like it's falling apart. So yeah, I think using the that's why I tried to wait to use the hammer as the collision force here. It's not a good idea to use a hammer against the very hard metal, but I just want to see if it's fair anyway. Tried it. Futile attempt here. Survive. And then you look at the edge, and you can, I think you can see little light reflect, but you don't see any major chip. And this is, here you can see the sharpening bevel, and then nothing go past, I mean, a fourth of the sharpening bevel, and the sharpening bevel thickness, I mean the face, I calculate out it would be 35 or 36 thousandths of an inch. So very little. So therefore, nothing. So the lesson would be, or I would find out that when you need to draw back the spine hardness and just basically don't, of course, don't put on to nail or anything. But don't use something like metal against metal. The vibration, the shock wave itself can tear the steel matrix apart. And I think this how, of course, I will try. Some more. Basically, see, there's that big chip and rock there. And now you look at this edge again. So when patoning and you hit something, that the contact surface is pretty big, so the psi is not as high. It's not too bad. While the nail a little bit, then it's because it's got a cylindrical, and then so it's got a curve. So initial entrance can be challenging. But again, most of the damage done is by hit it with a hammer while on the back here, 68 Rockwell. Don't know what else to test, I guess. Oh yeah, tip strength. Silly to do. But while I'm at it, I need a stick. Here it is. As you expect, there's no tip strength. You're going to just snap. There you go. So I think with this cross section right here, and you grew this deep, I don't think any knife will support it, because even you have toughness. So this, they have maximum strength. One it bent, that may already give. So if you have a tough blade and you dig this deep and you don't have enough steel, you're going to get break. You're going to bend, and you're going to bend and set, or this bend and snap. So anyway, just demonstrate the point. And all right, well, thanks for watching.